that's again a results impact that essentially we are talking about. Let's welcome our first guest on the show. Ruchit Jain, equity technical analyst at Angel Broking, is now joining us. Ruchit, good afternoon. First a view on Nifty. Every day in the second half, you tend to get some sort of buying. 26 points higher now.
Yeah, good afternoon, Pankaj. Pankaj, overall, if we see the market breadth today, then it clearly signifies that it's just a continuation of the uptrend. However, now if we come to index, then the index is very close to trading to its rising trendline resistance, which is placed around 9,000 levels. So I think for next few trading sessions, the index would consolidate in this broad range of 9,000 to 8,840. Whereas within this consolidation, there would be quite a good of stock specific momentum, wherein mid caps as well as small cap stocks are likely to continue the bull run. So index is why it's difficult to take a trade at current levels. Yes, in case if any minor dip comes around 88.40, then I think that could be another opportunity to create long positions. But right now, it's better rather than focusing on the index. One has to go stock specific trades, and specifically mid caps and the small cap names are likely to do quite well in next few sessions.
Just a word on Bank Nifty, and then we can focus on some stocks.
Yeah, the momentum on the Bank Nifty is still positive. If we see if you observe the private sector heavyweights, last couple of sessions, although they have not done well, but still there are no major reversal signs of the Bank Nifty still. So the trend for the Bank Nifty continues to remain up. On the higher side, 20,750 to 20,800 is the resistance zone, and on the lower side, support is there seen around 20,200. So I think 20,200 to 20,800 would be the range in which Bank Nifty could trade.
What will be your view on Yes Bank? It's down 4% now.
Hello. Well, Pankaj, some sort of profit booking we have seen in Yes Bank in last couple of days, and that too is from its resistance zone, which was 127% of previous up move. So I think Yes Bank could correct further in near term. Minor support for the stock is seen around 1315, but the recent high which was made 1450, I don't think that would be taken out quite easily. So some sort of profit booking could continue in this stock. In case 1315 is broken, then we may see continuation of this down move up to 1270 levels.
Say if you were to buy this name, or if the trend continues to be good, what's the level that you would look at?
I think I'd wait for some reversal signs again, or a move above 1415. So I think even today we have seen this, there is a gap down opening, so which indicates there's a continuation of this corrective move which was seen yesterday. So unless we get another sign of any resumption of the uptrend, I would tend to avoid this stock now.
Right. Not even want to short this name?
See, the broader trend for the stock is up. So when the broader trend is up, rather than shorting, the risk reward ratio generally does not goes into the favor if you take short position in such an uptrend. So I won't create any short positions over here. But in case there's a significant dips and we get some reversal signs again, then only would look to create long positions.
How would you look at TCS? Down 3-4-5% now.
And quite interesting, this IT sector has been. We have seen the markets are trading almost now near 9,000 levels. We have been the mid-cap stocks, the banking sector, or most of the other sectors have also done quite well in last 3-4 months. But this IT sector has done somewhat opposite to what markets have moved. So what the theme is going on right now is stay away from the underperformers and continue to ride on to those stocks or those sectors which have been outperforming the markets. So still IT continues to underperform. TCS, Infosys, Wipro, specifically these three names, there is no sign of bottoming out over here. Even today, if you see, in spite of gap down opening, the volumes are quite high when the stock is coming down. So that's still a negative sign. So rather than bottom fishing these stocks over here, that yes, now the stocks would bottom out, look to buy stocks which are doing well, which are outperforming the broader market. So I would still stay away from the entire IT pack as a whole.
Right. You would not want to short something like a TCS or any other large cap names? With volumes it's going down today in a market which is going up?
Pankaj, we are expecting further downside from current levels, but the risk reward for creating fresh positions is not that favorable. The stock is already down 6% today, and going short, even if we keep a stop loss above today's gap area, then also compared to the reward which we get, the risk is too high. So considering this risk reward ratio, there is no favorable setup to create short positions also in this stock.
Let's look at the some of the gainers today. Bajaj Auto, Hero MotoCorp. What a spectacular run these names have had.
Yeah, both these names are have done quite well in recent past. Also, we have seen continuous formation of this higher top and higher bottoms, and even the trend following indicators are still continuously showing some are in the buy mode. So I think this positive momentum could continue in the auto sectors. In fact, this coming week we may see some positive momentum shifting onto auto ancillaries as well. Specifically speaking about these two stocks, Bajaj Auto, we are expecting on the higher side 3160, 3170 the stock could test, and even Hero MotoCorp, if this continues in next week or in tomorrow's trading session, then it could quite easily achieve this 3800, 3850 mark. So we continue to remain positive on both this stock.
Right, and TVS Motors?
TVS Motor is now trading near its resistance of previous high. If you observe, then in the month of April, the stock had registered a high of around 340, and similarly today now it's trading around those levels only. So it needs to be seen whether the breakout comes above 340 and there's a follow-up buying in coming week. The stock, although there's no negative sign in this stock, but still just because there's a resistance over here, I would prefer more of a Hero MotoCorp and Bajaj Auto over TVS Motor now.
Right, we've got some upgrades coming in on ONGC. Any view on that name? It actually went to 255 today, but now it's absolutely flat.
Pankaj, the stock is trading in a rising channel, and today if we see, then from the higher end of the channel the stock has shown some corrective move. Also there was a gap up opening today, so usually if the stock has to continue with its uptrend, then the follow up move after the gap up opening is quite necessary, which we have not seen in the stock today. After a gap up opening, the stock has corrected and has filled that gap, so that's not a positive sign. So I think this stock could show some corrective move. We are not expecting any big correction over here, but up to 235, 236 the stock could correct, and then it could consolidate. So although the trend is positive for the stock, but I think one should wait for further dips in the stock up to 235 to again buy into this stock.
Right, as far as any other names are concerned, so Petronet did particularly well. Gail is reacting to the numbers. Any view on these names? These names have done well.
Yeah, the trend for Petronet still remains up. I think there's a higher top, higher bottom structure continues in this stock, and even if you observe right now, then the support for the stock is placed around 333, 34. So unless the stock gives a breakdown below this 333, 334, this minor dips also should be used as a buying opportunity. Gail has somewhat, Gail, if we see that the stock did give breakout above the 400, which was the resistance level earlier, but again there was no follow-up buying seen. We are not expecting this corrective move in this stock after breakout of 400, but I think the stock would now slip into consolidation phase as the breakout above the 400 has as the breakout about 400 has failed now. So I think 380 to 405, 410 would be the range, and again this stock would trade in the range bound trading session.
Right, Ruchit, just request you to stay on. Taking a break, coming back in 2 minutes. Nifty up about 30 odd points. Nifty continues to look decently strong, 23 points higher. The proper way to look at it would be it's about 50 points off the day's high. Real estate stocks have been buzzing. Ruchit, any view on HDIL, maybe some of the other real estate names that you track?
Yeah, real estate names, IB Real Estate, I think the stock would continue to do well. But although some sort of resistances are seen a bit above 3 to 4% upside from current levels. Among this pack, mid-cap name Anantraj Industries, Anantraj looks quite well. So rather than focusing on the large cap now, I think for just from trading perspective, one can look to build position in Anantraj Industries at current level. 58 it's right now trading around, and on the higher side 66, 67 it's quite possible for this stock to achieve in next 1 or 2 weeks. So I would go with the mid-cap name Anantraj in this real estate space. One can keep a stop loss below 55 or 54 on the long positions.
Any view on DLF?
DLF, I think this stock would consolidate now in near term because if you observe last couple of weeks, then the stock has corrected from its high of 170. The stock although has good support around 148, 149, but on the higher side, the trend following indicators have now showing resistance again around 164, 65. So I don't think there would be much of a big momentum on either side in the stock. 145, 148 would be the support range, and 165 would be the range where it would take a resistance in case any bounce back comes from here.
Any view on BHEL? It was one of the top gainers yesterday. Today it's absolutely flat.
Yeah, so after yesterday's result, definitely the volatility for the stock has increased, but again there is some amount of resistance is seen around 161, 162. Although now the weekly charts for the stock has shown this high top, high bottom structure, and hence the medium to long term outlook for the stock is positive. But wait for some sort of declines over here after yesterday's volatility. 145, 144 is a good support for the stock now. So even the risk reward ratio would be favorable to go along in case if the stock gives a dip to 145. So if the stock comes up to 145, then one can look to buy over there with stop loss below 135.
So right now it's not a buy.
Yeah, right now it's not a buy. I think some sort of dips would come in the stock as it's dealing with its resistance area of 162. So I think 145 would be the decent levels where one can look to buy this stock.
Any view on Maruti? It's again just making new highs every day.
Yes, it's just a continuation of this trend, continuous high top, high bottom formation. Even if you observe last 4-5 trading sessions, the volumes are also good. So when the stock is trading at a 52-week high or its all-time high, and in spite of that, the volumes are increasing on up move, there's definitely a positive sign and just a sign of continuation of this uptrend. 5500, I think the stock could test in next 1 week or so. So one should continue to trade with positive bias in Maruti. No reversal signs seen yet. 5500 to 5580, so 5580 is the range. So I think for next week 5580 could be achieved in this stock.
5580, but again that's quite small for a company like Maruti, right? 1.5-2%.
Yeah, that's quite small from current levels, but still I think those who have already already holding the stock with long positions in it, there are still no reversal signs over here at higher levels, so they can continue to hold even after target is achieved.
What would be your view on Tata Motors then?
Pankaj, we are observing some sort of time resistance in Tata Motors over here. Although along with other auto names, the trend for Tata Motors price-wise is also strong. But as per the time series now, next 2 to 3 trading sessions are very crucial for Tata Motors. And since we have already seen a good rally in last few trading sessions, there's a higher probability that this time resistance would turn after this time resistance. There would be a corrective move in this stock. It's very difficult to predict the levels from which this stock would correct, but since it's a time resistance coming in over here, I would tend to avoid creating long positions at current levels. And in fact, if anyone is also holding long positions, I think they should look to book profits and exit from this stock now. Now this is the view only for traders because since the next time zone would last for at least more than 15-20 trading sessions, so we can see some sort of good corrective move of at least up to 7 to 8% from current levels also.
But then it continues to be in the long run, long chart.
Yeah, the broader trend, as I said, that's why I said it's only for short-term traders. The broader trend for the stock would continue to remain positive as far as this high top, high bottom structure is intact. So there is no cause of worry for the long-term investors in this stock, but just for short-term traders, this time resistance, due to this time resistance, there could be some corrective move in next maybe couple of weeks or so.
What's happening with the tire names? Any view on Sept Limited?
Yes, yet the stock, after a consolidation phase has given a breakout above 1000 and is continuously showing positive momentum. Last 3 trading sessions, even if you observe the volumes along with the price move, then the volumes are also quite high. So this positive momentum could continue. Even the momentum readings, the RSI on the charts have now shifted from its lower end of the bull range to higher end. So that I think that increases the probability of the stock going further higher. 1080, 1090 is the next trendline resistance coming in for the stock. So I think there's further room on the upside left in the Sept. Any sort of minor dips if it comes in the stock around 980, 970, I think that should be used as a buying opportunity for target of 1080.
And other tire names?
Even other tire names continues to look positive, but I think risk-reward ratio is much more favorable in Sept now. Apollo Tyre has already given a good positive momentum. The trend still continues to remain up. On the higher side, 215, 216 is where the next resistance for the stock is seen. But given the risk-reward ratio, I would be more comfortable going long in Sept at current levels.
Right. If we look at some of the other names that are going on the downside, especially on the mid cap side, and what's really losing out. So maybe a Tech Mahindra, an Emphasis, a Page Industries, some of the mid cap IT companies that start with Mindtree and then probably Tech Mahindra.
As I earlier also said, it's more of a market where the stocks and the sector which are outperforming the broader indices, they will continue to do well. Now, Mindtree, Tech Mahindra, this entire IT pack as a whole has not done well. In fact, in last 2-3 months, and that's what we have seen even in last week, that the up move or a pullback move which was there, that was also quite small move of 2 to 3% itself. So rather than bottom fishing, even Tech Mahindra over here, Tech Mahindra or Mindtree, rather than bottom fishing just because the stocks are at the 52-week low or they have corrected significantly, I think they would continue to remain under pressure. Now, what if the market corrects over here after a week or after 15-20 trading sessions? If there is any sort of corrective move in the markets, then also that probability is very less that these stocks would move higher. So even if in the rising market this stock has not done well, then in case there is a corrective move in the markets, then also they will continue to remain under pressure. So one should not do any kind of bottom fishing in IT stocks as of now. Let some reversal signs come. Even if you miss bottom 4 to 5% from the bottom from the stock, then also I think that's quite fine for short to medium term traders or even investors. So I would still tend to stay away from names such as Mindtree, Tech Mahindra or Infosys or other names in the IT pack.
Thank you, Ruchit, so much for taking out time for us. Hope to see you again soon. Let's take a break on that note. But before we take a break, let's look at the silent features of iPhone 7. It was